Very excited to talk to our next guest. Another man who is sometimes hard to pin down, but when you get him, it's absolute gold. He is the head coach over at TriStar in La Belle Province, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. He is Firas Zahabi. He joins us right now via the phone. Firas, how are you?
Great, Ariel. How are you?
I'm doing great. By the way, we had one of your former students, fighters, on the show just moments ago. Rick Hahn announced his retirement. Did you know that he was retiring?
He was thinking about it, so yeah, I saw it coming.
All right. Well, I was trying to surprise you there, get your your heart to penetrate like that. Are you surprised he retired?
No. I think he's finishing out on a high note, so I think it's a good time for him. He's got to move on in his life. He got married. He bought a house. He's got to move on, I guess, in life. And he finished on a high note. I'm super happy for him. He's had a brilliant career, and I couldn't be happier.
Okay, we have a lot to talk about, my friend. You're all over the news.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Am I?
It's unbelievable. All of a sudden, after just a couple of days, TriStar has become the epicenter of MMA once again, and thanks in large part to the phenom that is Sage Northcutt. He came to Montreal. I believe he's still there. He's been training. What are your early impressions of this 19-year-old kid?
Oh, I love the kid. The kid's amazing. He's super amazing. He's amazing in the practice room. He's amazing outside. He's super hardworking. He's friendly. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. The kid's amazing.
Now, did you recruit him, or did he come to you?
I was trying to reach out to him. Actually, this is when he was in Legacy.
Wow!
I saw his fight in Legacy. I really like the kid. I'm always looking for that type of fighter. Good distance and footwork and karate traditional style. So I couldn't find his dad on Facebook. I don't know if he even has his Facebook, but I wasn't able to. And then I got a call from a friend who knows them, and he said, "Hey, we good to connect you guys," and we got connected. We tried training for a week together. We both enjoyed it, so we're going to be working together from now on.
So he's a full-fledged member of the team now?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Is he moving to Montreal?
He's going to be staying here for his training camp, yeah. So he's going to be training with us. He's going to be staying here in the TriStar dorms, and he's going to be going through the paces. His
demeanor is really unique. I mean, this kid is always smiling, so respectful, humble, calling you sir. He's really a little bit different, isn't he?
I think he reminds me a lot of George. George is that type of guy. Positive attitude, eager to train, always happy to go to practice, never always positive. I love it. I think this is the first step in being successful, having a good attitude.
Were you there when he met George for the first time?
Yeah, we went to dinner. The night they landed, we took him out to dinner. We hung out, and when the first practice, I wasn't there because I had to go to a weigh-in for another show. But him and George worked out. Unfortunately, I have to be somewhere else.
But what was his reaction when he got to meet his idol for the first time?
He was excited, man. We're all excited. We're all like shaking hands, hugging, talking, and talking about fighting all night long. And we had a blast. We had a good dinner, and the next day we're in practice.
So you were actually on the bandwagon before the rest of us. You actually noticed him in Legacy. Who introduced you to Sage?
I saw somebody had posted his fight, and I saw that sidekick. When I saw that sidekick, I was like, yeah, for sure he's doing traditional martial arts, and for sure he's got that. I saw his footwork, and I was like, wow, this kid is something special. He's got that technical style we do. We cultivate and we work with. So I was like, wow, I'd love to have this kid come in and see what he can do. And then he got picked up by UFC, and then I saw his debut, and I was like, wow. But I thought it would be hard to get in touch with them now that they're in UFC. And then I was getting these messages saying, hey, I'd like to connect you with them, and we think it's a great fit. And it turns out that, everybody thought it would be a great fit with TriStar. So a lot of people were thinking the same thing. So, and it is, that's the kind of fighter we like to look for. Good, polite, kind, good attitude, hardworking, and it's working well.
Have you ever come across a kid his age who already has, a handful or so MMA fights under his belt with that much raw, natural talent?
I told his father today. I said, I think your son's the best 19-year-old fighter in the world today. If you put all the 19-year-old fighters in the world today in MMA, made them compete, I'm very confident Sage will come out on top. So he's really, really, in the 19 years, for a 19-year-old, he's unbelievable.
What impresses you most about him, as far as his skill?
I would say there's so many things that impress me, but his understanding of when to counter, his timing. His timing is something that only the most experienced guys have. He's got a fantastic timing. And his dad, his dad is a brilliant trainer. So I'm really learning a lot with his dad. We're talking a lot about technique. We've been hanging out together every day talking about training. And his dad really trained his son from the age of 4. He had excellent training from a young age. It wasn't some kind of a recreational training. This was serious training from a young age, and you see it in his fighting.
Will his dad continue to train him while he's at TriStar?
Oh, yeah, I definitely want his dad involved. His dad's going to be, going home and coming to help his son as much as he can. And, of course, his son's going to be going back home, too, to train. He's got to study. He's studying, he's not going to be giving up on school or anything like that. So he's working hard. Sage is working hard. He's training and studying.
I'm somewhat putting you on the spot here because it was just announced, but the UFC just announced that he'll be fighting Cody Pfister on December 10th. Do you know anything about Cody? Do you like this matchup as he progresses and climbs the ranks?
Yeah, Cody's he's an aggressive guy. He moves forward. He's a high-pressure guy. I think it's a good test for Sage. Cody's not going to give him an inch. She's not going to back up. So it's going to be fun. I like the fight.
And by the way, it also came out around a week ago. I believe it was Showdown Joe who first reported it, that not only Sage was coming, but Tarek Safadine. Is that accurate? Is Tarek a member of the team now as well?
Well, I wouldn't say he came to train for, I think it was 10 days, and I won't say he's a full-fledged member yet. I think he came to try it out and check it out. I think he did enjoy it. We talked about, the next training together, and I think it's up to him. I don't want to put pressure on him, but he's thinking about it, I guess, and he's going to make his decision whenever he feels like it.
Is he healthy?
He did hurt his neck a little bit. He had a small tweak in his neck, so we kind of trained around it. But he wasn't in training camp, so we're just kind of having more fun in practice, sparring, more relaxed, and doing some wrestling and jiu-jitsu stuff. He was just kind of getting a feel for what we can offer, and we were doing like he didn't have a fight book.
So right.
We were training technical, instead of like prepping him for a fight.
One last thing on Sage before we move along. I mean, I think there's going to be some, already people criticize the way he's pushed or the way that the UFC, markets him, gives him a lot more attention perhaps than others. It's rare that we get to see a fighter this young. He's currently the youngest fighter in the UFC, third youngest of all time. Do you feel like you're going to have to be a part of not just, his fight preparation, but being a part of the discussion, like, all right, how fast are we going to push this guy? Who's the right manager? He doesn't even have a manager, at least that I know of. You may know differently. I mean, it's not just getting a fighter and saying, all right, this fight, and then you're fighting for the belt. Like, you really have to be a part of this, you have a piece of clay that needs to be, put together. He's really just, a piece of clay that is incredibly talented, but he's so young and so green. Are you going to be a part of that process as well?
I think so. I think me and his dad, we're just going to have discussions. And at the end of the day, his dad's been training him his whole life. His dad should have, the last say. But of course, I want to be part of that conversation. I want to give my 2 cents, not necessarily publicly, but between us and all the coaches working together. What's the next best fight? How long do we have to prepare? How do we feel we can do? And these are things we do with all fighters. What the public is saying and what other fighters are saying, that's their prerogative. We need to focus on what's best for Sage and give him time to expand, because the kid is 19 years old. I think by the age of 21, 22, he's going to have reached so many other levels that it's going to be scary.
Right now, how many fights before he fights for a belt?
Oh, I don't know. I never make those kind of calls. You know me. I take it one fight at a time, and now it's Cody Pfister, and that's all there is right now.
Okay, let's talk about George St-Pierre. He sort of dropped a bombshell on us. He was talking to LDS and said that he's getting this itch to come back, and he's watching his division. He doesn't know if it's 2015, but to me, it felt like the first time in a long time where he was actually admitting that he's thinking about it. What more can you tell us about this?
I know George so well. I know him better than himself. I know George. I don't know if he can walk away. I don't think he can. I just personally, I never talked to him about this stuff. Because when I see him, I know everybody's been asking him every single day, everywhere he goes. I know that because everybody asks me every single day if he's fighting. I just personally think he cannot sit on the sidelines for too long. That's just the type of guy George is. He's just that type of personality. He has to compete. And when he's really done with fighting one day, he's going to compete in something else. He's just a competitor. I don't know if he's going to take up golf or something, but he's going to compete the rest of his days. And I think he's still going to, I think that itch hasn't gone. So it doesn't surprise me. And I really hope he does come back, because I'm such a fan of his fighting. That's the truth. He doesn't need to come back. I don't need him to come back. I think he's amazing. I think he's still got it. He comes in the practice room. He looks amazing. I just want him to come back because I'm a fan. And if he wants to come back or not, I'll support him. I don't think he owes anybody anything. So I'm behind George 100%, but I think he's a hardcore competitor. his psyche is built to compete, and he's going to do it eventually, one way or another, whether it's in MMA or something else.
So as we talk here today, you do think he'll fight again?
I think so. I think he's got plenty of fighting. I think he's a beast, man. You see him in the practice room, he's a beast. So I don't think he's even slowing down a bit,
Do you think this year? Because he did mention 2015.
I don't know. I don't know what his schedule is like. He's got a lot of
might be
PR.
too soon.
He's got a lot of, duties to do. He's everywhere. He's traveling, but training still all the time. I don't know. I think it has more to do with his schedule,
Yeah, I forgot that we're already October 2015.
Yeah, he's a busy man. George.
And how much does he weigh? Do you have any idea? Because he seems bigger than normal.
I don't think too much bigger.
No?
I don't think too much bigger. No.
So you think if he came back...
Forget, he's not in training camp, right?
Sure.
He could lose 10 pounds in 3 days, George, in training, so it's maybe a little water weight here and there, but nothing. I was just saw him last week. He looks pretty normal to me.
So you think that if he comes back, it'll be at 170, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, George will make 170 easily.
How often is he in the gym these days? Because I feel like I see him more than before. I always see him in the pictures with the team.
He's in the gym a lot. Also when he's traveling, because he travels a lot, like he's traveling right now, he's always training. It's always land, train, do your PR. Or land, do your PR, and train. George is just, he's a robot. He has to train.
We were having this debate on another show that I do, the MMA Beat, last week. George St-Pierre comes back, fights Robbie Lawler for the belt. Are you confident he wins?
If George preps and does a training camp, he'll beat anybody. That's my, I really feel he's the best of the best. So I think if he does his training camp and he prepares, and it's not calling Robbie or anybody out, I think he's the best. So, him and Rory, I believe in my guys. I believe if they get prepped, they will win.
And there are a lot of people who say for his health, he took a lot of shots. It's best for him to walk away. He walked away as champion. Why do it? Why ruin your legacy? You don't share any of that sentiment.
You know what? You got to do what's happy, what makes fun. What's fun for you. Are you not going to do something you love because you don't want people to think you're perfect? You want to leave with a perfect legacy. Are you going to live your life for what other people think of you, or are you going to enjoy yourself and do what's fun for you? I think George loves the competition. He loves the adventure, and it will be doing it because he loves to do it. And who cares if people don't think you're perfect? What if something bad happens? So what? You're still George St-Pierre. It doesn't change anything. And I don't think anything bad will happen, but at worst, I think he can live with it. It's not the end of the world. So he's got to do what he loves to do, what feels good, and what he finds enjoyment in doing.
But from your perspective, health-wise, he's all there. There are no problems. He's not dealing with anything, trauma of any kind, head trauma, anything like that.
Not at all. Not at all. All his injuries were cosmetic, 100% cosmetic. He's been checked. I mean, the guy's fully functional. I'm sure you hear his interviews. He's 100% coherent. George is far from having any brain trauma.
Okay, last thing on George. Perfect scenario for you. What is it? Who does he fight? Where does he fight? Lay it out. Lay out your dream for me.
I don't have.
Oh, come on.
I don't think about that. Honestly, I don't think about that. I just like to train the guys and have them compete, and whoever it is, it is. I don't care. I don't think of the names.
But you are saying today on October 19th, right here on the MMA Hour, that George St-Pierre is coming back. It's official, right?
I never said that.
But you think.
You're an expert. You're an expert, Ariel. I think he's got plenty of fight in him left. And I see him in the practice room. He's not training like a guy on vacation. He's training like a guy who loves jiu-jitsu. He still has that fire. He loves that wrestling. He loves it all. So he's still got that fire, George.
Wow. You're giving me goosebumps. Imagine at the Olympic Stadium in Montreal, right? His return.
That would be something I'd get out of bed for every day.
Gosh.
That would be something special.
Le Stade Olympique. Wow, what a moment that would be. Okay, let me ask you about Joseph Duffy. He is...
Yep.
Is it true, by the way? He was on my show last week. He told me you've never been to Europe. Is that true?
It's true. I've never been to Europe.
What? Someone as accomplished as you've been cornering fighters. You've never been to Europe. How is this possible?
I'll tell you a real short story.
Okay.
I used to go to Asia on a regular basis for training in Thailand and for fights in Heroes K1. I had a horrible flight experience where I got extremely sick in turbulence, extremely sick. We had a horrible landing in a storm. People were crying in the plane. And ever since then, I've had a fear of flying. So I can only tolerate flying for a few hours at a time.
Oh.
But I have been flying. This is years ago. So we're talking about 5 years ago. So I've flown hundreds of times since then, but only short flights. And this will be my first time again back overseas since that dreadful plane experience I had years ago.
Are you nervous?
I'm feeling much better with flying because I've really gotten over my fear, I think, to a high extent that I'm ready to go overseas. So I'm not thinking about it now. When I get on the plane and it reaches hour 5, I might start to get a little more stressed because after 4 or 5 hours of flying, I start to get a little more stressed, but I think I'll be fine.
So you
I'll
must
be thinking of you, Ariel. I'm going to bring a picture of you
Please.
on the plane.
You
I'm
must
going
really
to look at it constantly.
you must really like this Joseph Duffy to suck it up and get on that plane, huh?
Well, I'll tell you, they put in so much hard work, him, Tom Breeze, Stevie Ray, that I feel I need to go. You know, I have to go. They put in so much time and energy in the gym. I want to be there for them.
And what's your assessment of him? Now, this is, I believe, the third camp that you're with him?
Yeah.
Third, yeah. What's your assessment
right.
of him and how far? I mean, do you really think that he is he one of those guys that you're very excited about?
Oh, yeah, 100%. You know, he's growing so fast, and I wonder, how far he's going to grow. He's a killer, man. You know, he's very precise. He hits hard. He's game. He's ready to die in there. I mean, the guy's incredible, and he is technical. He's precise. So I'm really looking forward to see how it develops with him. And like all my guys, I think, the sky's the limit. They can go as far as they put their energy in, and he's a tough guy. He's going to be a hard guy to beat.
How do you feel about this matchup for him? Is it too soon?
No, I think it's a good matchup. I think he needs to step it up and take a big name like Poirier. Poirier's a very big name. Don't forget, Joe has 7 boxing fights. He's been doing martial arts since he's a kid. So, I mean, it might be his third fight in the UFC, but this guy's got a lot. Joseph Duffy's got a lot of experience.
And have you talked to him at all? Is this something that you've even discussed? Him fighting back in Ireland and the enormity of this show and doing it after Conor, all that stuff. No, you haven't talked about that?
That's all distraction. We focus on training and what we're going to do, and that's it. Training and what we're going to do. He's a man on a mission. He's a runaway trainer. He has one idea only, and that's how to beat Dustin Poirier. He doesn't think about anything else. We don't talk about anything else. It's irrelevant whether the fight is in America or Ireland. It's positive because he's in a place where he's very appreciated. That's all positive stuff.
Yeah.
But when they lock that cage door, it's just about Dustin Poirier. So that's where we're primarily concerned. The rest of the stuff is great, but it's taking care of itself. It's going to take care of itself.
How do you think he does against Conor now?
Conor McGregor, well, who knows? That remains to be seen. Right now, we're only talking about Dustin Poirier. So for now, that's the subject.
Any news on Rory McDonald's return?
There's
sounds like you know something.
I know he's training in the gym. Let's just say he's training in the gym and he's getting ready.
Are we getting to see the Hector Lombard fight that never happened in Montreal?
I don't know. You're gonna have to wait on that. I don't know what's going on with that. I just know Rory's getting in shape. Rory's he's in beast mode right now. He's working harder than ever. He's never been so hungry. Yeah,
I saw a picture. He looks to be in great shape. So no ill effects from that Robbie Lawler fight.
No. He's grown from that. He's a better fighter immediately afterwards. I think that's something you cannot learn in the gym. That's just a pure experience. A lot of guys have not won their first 5-rounder. A lot of guys. Even GSP and all so many greats. It was a great experience for him, and he has taken something that you cannot learn in the gym. That was a priceless experience for him, and I think it's made him stronger. It could hurt guys or it could make you stronger. And Rory's one of those guys where that experience was positive for him. He loved it. If you ask him what the best day of his life was, he'll say it was that day, and he's looking forward to doing it again. So
he is a different kind of cat, eh?
He is a different kind of guy. So if you didn't kill him, you made him stronger. That's Rory McDonald.
I would love to see a reality show of Sage Northcutt and Rory McDonald hanging out.
You know what? They actually get along really well, which is incredible to me.
Yes.
Sage is such a sweet kid, and Rory just wants to fight. But you know what? Sage is a warrior as well. He's polite outside the cage, but inside the cage, he's fierce. He doesn't make friends inside the cage. That's after the fight. He's got that assassin's instinct as well.
A great video of some of the TriStar fighters trying his flip. Have you tried it as well?
Are you crazy, Ariel? Oh, my God. I'll break my back trying to do it.
Holy moly. That kid is something else. Unbelievable. Okay, one last thing, and then I'll let you go. A bit of a personal note for you. How about your little brother, Firas Zahabi, right?
Yeah. He had a good little fight last Saturday.
Yeah.
Got a first-round KO in 18 seconds. He hits hard, my brother, and I'm really happy. I think he worked really hard for this fight and worked out well. So
he's now 5-0, correct?
Yep.
How far away is he from getting the call?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask Sean Shelby.
Oh, so it's 145, correct?
135.
135, excuse me.
Yeah, 135.
In your mind, is he ready?
No, I would like a couple more fights, and he's not far away from that now. We have more shows in Canada. There was a lull in the shows of Canada. It was hard getting fights the last 2 years, but now there's a bunch of new options. There's a new show in Saskatoon. There's a couple more shows now and popping up in Quebec, so we have a lot more options for fight. We're going to take those fights as soon as possible, and then hopefully Sean Shelby gives a call.
Are you comfortable cornering him, being his coach, all that stuff? It's a little different when it's your brother.
It's a little bit different, but I treat him like everybody else. You know, like everybody else in the practice room, he gets as much attention as everybody else, not more, not less. And I try to balance it out. You know, of course, he's my brother, so I got to be there for him in different ways because he's family. But I want him to know what it's like to be a fighter, and he has to go through the paces like everyone else.
Well, I agree. It certainly feels like things have changed a little bit from. Well, I think we talked about this maybe a year ago. It felt like there was a lull in Canadian MMA. All these fighters now coming to TriStar, all the shows popping up. I'm excited. My last question for you is: did you vote today?
No, I'm actually going to do that right after this very important call that I made time for today to make sure that I don't miss.
Yes. Important. All right. I'll let you go vote. I won't ask you who you're voting for. That's very rude. Hey, congratulations on everything. Good luck on Saturday. Good luck. More importantly, good luck on the plane. Just get that picture of me, a nice picture. I'll send you a nice 8x10. Think of me.
Perfect.
And I wish you the best. Thanks again for doing this.
Thanks, my man.
All right. There he is. Firas Zahabi, head coach over at TriStar, dropping some news of a very busy time for TriStar these days. Joseph Duffy with a big fight on Saturday. Sage Northcutt joining the team. GSP, his brother, Iman Zahabi. And we didn't even get to, really a lot about Rory or Olivier Aubin-Mercier. I mean, the list goes on and on. So good to see TriStar up and running, thriving once again, and looking forward to that fight on Saturday.